Imagine yourself as a young woman in the Forbidden City, beneath golden roofs, silk draperies, and jade treasures. Heaven, at least, was how the world outside thought of it. Behind the walls, however, games of power were deadly. In late Qing dynasty, a concubine's beauty and authority sealed her own destiny. She would not creep into her bed anonymously. Rather, it is said that she was dragged to the edge of a well and drowned on the orders of one of China's most powerful women, the Empress Dowager Cixi. It's Empress Jen's tale, better known as the Pearl Concubine. Her tragic end is testimony to the dark side of palace life, where politics, fear, and love could be the reason to murder. Empress Jen came to the Forbidden City in the late 1800s, when China was already in shambles. Foreign powers had humiliated the empire through war, and the Qing court fought among themselves. But in the palace politics, the Emperor Guangxu comforted himself with her. She was intelligent, she could speak back, and unlike some of the other concubines, she did not object to offering her opinions. The emperor depended upon her greatly, perhaps too greatly. There was one hitch, however. Over their heads loomed the formidable Empress Dowager Cixi, the emperor's aunt and regent. She had ruled China from the shadows for decades, both revered for her sagacity and feared for her ruthless grip on authority. To her, the growing independence of the young emperor and his favorite Pearl Concubine's influence was menacing. The fear became clear during the 100 Days Reform in 1898, when Emperor Guangxu tried to push through bold modernization plans. Pearl Concubine encouraged him, even urging him to resist Cixi's control. Some sources even suggest she told him to flee the palace and seek foreign protection. To Cixi, that was betrayal. And so, when the political crisis boiled over, Cixi struck back. She staged a coup, placed the emperor under house arrest, and took back full control of the empire. Pearl Concubine was suddenly a liability, too vocal, too loyal to the emperor, and too threatening to Cixi's absolute authority. Here's the chilling twist. The night before the Allied invasion of Beijing in 1900, when Cixi was practicing evading the capital, she allegedly gave a chilly order. The Pearl Concubine must be executed. Guards allegedly took the young woman to the well within the Forbidden City and, none too ceremoniously, tossed her in and drowned her, palace sources said. Her body disappeared into the night, her life cut short not by dignity, but by water in her lungs. Others believe Cixi feared the Allies would bring back the emperor with Pearl Concubine beside him, affirming his position and eroding her own, or that it was cold-blooded hatred. Either the brutality of her death turned her into a ghost legend, but was the myth true? Historians are divided. Some versions suggest Pearl Concubine's death was a mythical one, exaggerated into palace gossip and legend, but the image of a beautiful young woman, silenced forever in a well, has endured more than a century, and maybe that says something deeper, legend or reality. People wanted to believe it, because it symbolized the harsh reality of life in the Forbidden City. Behind the splendor of imperial China, women like Pearl Concubine lived in constant danger. To be favored by the emperor was to invite jealousy, suspicion, and political danger. To speak out was even more dangerous. Her story, true or invented, became an emblem of strength and the brutality of unchecked power. So what do we learn from this story? That history is not generals and emperors. It is also about voices stifled in the darkness, the ones that have only their tragic narrative left as a memorial, retold on rumor. If this love, betrayal, and power history has survived for you, then, like this video, share it with those who are history enthusiasts and subscribe for more untold histories. And don't forget, the Forbidden City was more than a palace. To some, it was a jail, and others, like the Pearl Concubine, never made it out alive.